Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining across Europe. My name is Ambroise. I will be your host this evening. The idea for tonight is very simple. We want to explain and walk you through our MiCAR journey from a year ago. This will be tomorrow our first year anniversary delivering a MiCAR compliant platform to our EEA citizens. And today our objective is very clear. We want to provide any type of clarity and practical user and answer any user question that you may have. Today I will not be alone, and I'm happy to have with me answering all the questions our co-CEOs. As I said, my name is Ambroise. I'm the French country manager for Bybit EU. And today with us, we have Mazurka Zeng, our co-CEO, as well as Georg Harer. Mazurka, do you welcome? Very great that you can join tonight. It seems to be very sunny in Vienna, our home office. And we are happy to have you with us right now and tonight. Mazurka, maybe could you share with us a little bit more about your background? How do you get and became the co-CEO of Bybit EU, as well as how did you jump into crypto space? I think everyone wants to know.
Hi guys, nice to see you. This is Mazurka. I'm now sitting in the Vienna office. Currently, I'm the co-CEO, the first co-CEO of Bybit EU. I joined Bybit in 2021, and I started to set up all the fiat business, especially support our fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, card issuing, Bybit Pay. And afterwards, I also work as a EU country manager. That's how we start the story of Bybit EU. And then we have a first employee, Georg, in EU. And we set up the office and gradually apply the license. That's how we start there. Yeah.
That's great. And so, Guillaume, welcome. Now co-CEO, quite a rising star. Can you take us also on your journey, how you became a co-CEO and how did you join crypto as well?
Yes, so that's two completely different stories, but I would say a nice match in the end because I actually have a law background, but have always been a tech geek. And in that sense, I already started working with crypto from a more tech perspective in 2012, back in the day when especially the banking and law people thought, it's all geek stuff or non-relevant stuff. But as time was catching on, it became more and more relevant after 2020. And as it so happened, I was looking for a career change. I used to work as a lawyer here in Vienna for the past 10 years. And Bybit had just decided in 2024 to open up their EU headquarters here in Vienna. And they needed a seasoned lawyer who also understands crypto. And as you can imagine, there's not a lot of them. And it was also perfect for me because I wanted to get away a bit from this old dusty law firm business, just doing something new, something that I like a fintech. So I think it was a very great match. And as Mazurka said, I was back then the first local hire, and we built up this office from virtually zero to now around 50 employees in Vienna and many more to come.
Yeah, we actually also set up crypto hub here.
Yeah, so you're literally in our crypto hub in the 46th floor of the DC Tower in Vienna, where among other things we have this podcast space. So if you ever come by Vienna, make sure to visit us there.
Yeah, and maybe something that our user don't know. What is a crypto space?
Here we have a special corner. The corner we provided to like crypto fans or community, and even Georg will introduce and invite some of the universities here, have the lectures for them as a regular topic. We also have pizza day in our office. It's already gradually become a crypto hub in Vienna.
Yeah. I think what I'm most proud of compared to many traditional banks or also tech companies, that we're always very open for feedback. Very often we have VIP clients here and they say, hey, I have this idea to implement on your platform, or this isn't working. Can somebody help me? And we're happy to sit together with them and always try to improve our platform.
Yeah, I think it's quite unique in the crypto space that a platform like ours can welcome and feedback directly from their users basically anytime. I think what it's needed is just a simple registration. So if you go by Vienna, please up and give us a hello. Let's switch now to the first question on this evening. Tomorrow will mark a very important date as it's the end of what we call in the field the grandfathering period, which is something that doesn't speak a lot to a lot of people. So tonight maybe let's do some refresher on some of the key concepts of the crypto in Europe. And maybe Georg, since you are the lawyer of the group right now, you could walk us more into what is MiCAR for those who don't know.
So I think very simply put, it's EU regulation. This means it's a legal act that applies directly all across the EU and also the European economic member states, Liechtenstein, and Norway and Iceland. And the game changer about MiCAR is that before you could apply for local licenses, so-called virtual asset service provider licenses, but they were only valid in one country and could not be what we call passported. I mean, you could operate legally in that country, but could not provide your services to anyone else. Now, with MiCAR, you will still have to apply for a MiCAR license in one country, but because it's a European-wide regulation that's directly applicable, you can provide your services with that license from one country to all the other countries. And this, of course, changes everything because, first of all, one license opens up the whole market to more than 400 customers, but also you can you have much more freedom in terms of where you want to go to set up your office, because you don't need to consider market size, right? A country like Austria or even Liechtenstein or other smaller countries, they were not that attractive before because of market size, but now it really doesn't matter where you set up your office because you can always serve the entire European market. And maybe one word for, this is just our perspective or the legal perspective from consumer protection standards. I think the most important topic is that you have, it raises the bar of protection. In my opinion, the most important single change is that it's now required, and if you think about it, this wasn't given before. It's for the first time that it's required that the service provider actually hold all your crypto assets in a separate wallet and don't use it, and that it's ensured that it's actually there. This is for the first time in the European legal history it's given. But this single thing alone already justifies why we needed something like MiCAR, because FTX and others come to mind. It just helps protect consumers, but also serious players like us, who are sometimes still put into the same basket as rather shady players.
So basically what you say is that we are kind of in a world now of proof of reserve by default. Like MiCAR guarantees it.
Like it's not directly proof of reserves, because interestingly enough, you don't need to publish it, but it's even stricter, I would say, because the regulator checks on it directly.
Yeah.
And not just in terms of proof of reserves, but also, and this is the hard part, you need to have your processes, your systems, your people hired locally. So it's much more than just checking, are the crypto assets there? It's the whole process and structure around it that is looked into by the regulator.
And one side questions, you were talking about systems. I think one of the topic that is raising today is also cybersecurity. Does MiCAR also have some, let's say, enhanced checks around cybersecurity for the firm that are MiCAR compliant?
Yes. So with MiCAR, you have to comply with the so-called Digital Operations and Resilience Act. That's a banking standard of IT security, which is extremely strict. I always joke that complying with MiCAR is easy. Complying with the DORA part is the hard part, which we're quite literally at the same level of IT security that is required by banks or trading venues. And it's very strict. We have our own, not just systems, but special team. We also had to hire, white hackers to test our systems and everything. So it's extremely thorough. But of course, it makes sense because if providers like us are safeguarding client assets, it needs to be ensured that those assets are safe kept.
Yeah, something that strikes me is that this DORA compliance is higher in terms of requirements and securities at some governments. At least in France, I see that DORA compliance is like higher in terms of requirements that what governments need to protect their data with. Let's ask Mazurka for one question. What is the July 1st deadline that you may have seen popping around very recently? There was like some kind of countdown around this deadline for a long time. Can you maybe explain to our audience why is this about?
Yeah, because after that timeline, that means for the non-MiCAR regulated entity, actually, you cannot serve the EA clients, right? So that's why, as Bybit EU, we already work here, get a license since last year in May. We're happy to take over all the clients on Bybit EU. And also one thing to add on, because we heard some bot yesterday say Bybit don't have a license in MiCAR, it's incorrect information. Actually, Bybit always pay attention to the compliance commitment, and that's why we're here. It seems like Georg just shared some story of MiCAR, but that's what we've done for the past year. Work very hard for our team, set up the security level, also the compliance level. On one side, try to provide the service with a highly standard, and also on another side, protect our clients in an appropriate way. That's what we're doing for now. Yeah. So happy to get all the clients on Bybit EU.
Exactly. And I think on my side, what I wanted to maybe share is more why this deadline is also important. If we go into details, I don't know if the numbers is going to be shared now, but what we see is that 60% of our crypto users across Europe are using an exchange that potentially tomorrow will be unable to provide crypto services to them. One thing we want to mention is that we are not saying that funds are at risk on those partners, right? We are not here to spread FUDs or things like that. What we want to mention is that starting tomorrow, those users will be unable to basically buy BTC if they want to. And so the fact that 60% of the crypto users are still not within a MiCAR regulated exchange means that there is awareness to raise about this matter, and that we want to make sure that users have the right partner and the right platform to keep doing what they are doing right now. And something else that we need to emphasize on how tough this regulation is, and that it's not given to anyone lightly, is that only less than 1 in 5 crypto exchange who had a previous license, a local license, as Georg explained, currently have a MiCAR license. This means that the work that we've been doing, the processes that we've been building for a year, is best in class if you compare to the majority of the industry. Finally, there is a growing interest in MiCAR. What we've seen is that almost 8 million downloads on app without MiCAR authorization. It means that you might have a friend who thinks that he's okay with his platform, and tomorrow will find out that he cannot buy it anymore. To those guys, you feel free to say that Bybit has, I would say, one of the strongest referral model, and I would I would invite you to maybe share with your friends your referral link so that they can stay aware and stay with us. So 2 questions for Mazurka and Georg on all of that. What is the main risk users should understand when it comes to those numbers? And I don't know who wants to take this one. I don't want to decide for this one.
Yeah, so I think one thing that we see like literally happening now is, at least in these upcoming weeks, that there's a lot of FUD and panic being spread in social media. So I think maybe we can also clarify a couple of things.
If you mind speaking on the mic a little bit more,
Right.
please. Thank
So
you.
if we can, what the user can take away. So I think the clear message is, wherever you are, make sure it's either MiCAR regulated or change your funds to a MiCAR regulated, because not everyone is, there may be some good unregulated exchanges out there, but you can't be sure because they're not regulated, right? So this is, I think, the most important message to take away from this. And also, if you look at the numbers, you will see that a lot of people will have their funds with unregulated exchanges. So I think it's worth that everybody, unless they're already on Bybit EU, has a look at where they have their cryptos at.
All right, that's a good insight indeed. Mazurka, what does this mean for Bybit EU? Is this date has any impact on us?
No, actually, because we're already MiCAR licensed since last year, like I said, so we're always open for all the EEA clients to join our platform, but except of Malta residents, unfortunately. But for other clients, always good to onboard Bybit EU. Also, we provide a very good offer for them recently, like the cashback package. Also, when you deposit 100, you can get more reward. Please check our campaign, and you will get a higher cashback rate for higher volume. That's what we always offer, and you can refer your friends come to Bybit EU, actually get more reward.
And yeah, I think we've said it already, but I will say it one more time so that maybe it gets the point gets across. It's been 1 year that we've been building under MiCAR. Let's Mazurka deep dive a little bit more on, like, if you look back at the past year, what was the impact on Bybit EU? What was building under MiCAR like for you?
I'd like to share some stories since we getting license, right? Because we set up a very specific criteria under the EU regulatory guidance, and especially some of the new system like what's called DORA, and also the like some of the policies we need to protect the client's assets. I think it's a very impressive journey. We learn from the compliance framework. We also learn a lot about how the EU compliance or regulatory framework it works, and how we can set up a decent business in this way. On one side, I think it's good for the clients because very transparent communication policies also is under the EU laws. That means the client's money is actually being protected, and also on another side, it means more security and the license commitment. That's definitely what we are working on. For the squad, I'd like to say we set up a very professional team here. We are working for all the products, also for our business. We have a very good vision here. So for the past 1 year, not just working for MiCAR, we're also applying for EMR license, MiFID license here. We want to provide a digital platform, only one better user journey for the clients. So we are still working on it. So 1 year, I think, is just start. We just start from here. And for the 1 year, learning. We already understand how to run the business in a good way, and we are growing up with all the team for that.
Exactly. Like if we want to do a football metaphor, basically MiCAR is the qualifier for the World Cup. Now that we are qualified, then the fun begins, let's say. Georg, building under MiCAR, is it just about us? But I believe that the answer is no. Like we have tons of partners. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about all of our partners?
Yes. So of course, it's not just about MiCAR, especially Bybit is known for being a very open platform and supporting all kinds of interfaces. So we were, especially at first, working a lot on implementing convenient payment methods because a lot of our customers go into crypto via their fiat currencies, via their banking rails. For example, we have, of course, PayPal support, credit card support, etc. But also, as a company that values Web3 values, we also support direct crypto wallet-to-wallet transfers if requested, and also the other way around. And since we launched our Bybit card, so that's a Bybit MasterCard last September, we've been working on a lot of interesting sponsorship and cooperations. So, for example, most recently ongoing extra cashback on tickets on Stockholm Open and other events, where, for example, with Tomorrowland. And I think this, considering that it's a free product, is a very good offer.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to add something on this point. I think not just about partner. Actually, we are building the ecosystem here for crypto. Why we said ecosystem? Why is Bybit? Because we have a more comprehensive product lines. So, like Georg mentioned, we have bank partners like a Monobank, Clearbank, Bank Freak, and also have good relationship with the banks. So they want to build out business together with us. Also, we have further plan like a crypto as a service is going to plan with all the banks. On another side, for card issuing, we have MasterCard. We have a very good crypto card program here. We also have a different brand like Ski Academy, Stockholm, this kind of brand, because people love to use card to spend crypto. That's a good thing, right? Because when you have this product, it's not just about investment; it's about people's daily life, how we can structure this product and how we can cooperate with other partners. I think it's a good topic for us. And also, we have some of the liquidity partner. They also get MiCAR license. That's why we're always open for them. Say, hey, let's work on together with the liquidity topic. We're helping the whole industry to level up, not just by ourselves. Right? I think it's a good topic for all the ecosystem partnership.
Indeed. I'm gonna ask a question a bit off track, but I believe that you guys have the answer to this one. Bybit is a global platform, right? But maybe people don't really know why we chose Austria in the first place, which is reputable as like a very high road type of regulator instead of going into more easier jurisdiction. How did we arrive in Vienna?
I think I can share some background from my end. Georg can add some point. From my side, it's quite simple. We want to do the comprehensive platform, like I said, digital financial platform. In this case, actually, we need to have like a more flexible framework. Have the sandbox model, good fit for like a global exchange to structure everything, because we have more comprehensive product. It's not like a traditional spot oriented exchange. That's why we choose here Austria. We have a MiCAR license, EMI we are applying at the same time, also MiFID, and we are actually very confident to structure this kind of product. Maybe Georg, you can share your point.
Yeah, so I think I already said it before. It's MiCAR puts every country on the map, because you don't have to choose by market size anymore. So this obviously helped Austria because it's a relatively small country. And Bybit has globally a compliance-first approach. So this is also why we didn't go to some of the more flexible or easier countries. But at the same time, so we know that the regulator here is strict. They are known to be very efficient, and also they are welcoming towards platforms like us, meaning platforms that really commit to compliance and building up a proper company. And it's, simple things, for example, accepting documents in English instead of the normally formal language German. This helped us a lot, and I think we're very proud that we managed to get the license as the first international exchange in Austria.
Yeah, thank you for all of that. I would say that before we look into next steps, right? What has been the biggest challenge that we faced, and how did we overcome it?
From my side, I think it's exploring new model. It's not like something already happening, right? Like a banking industry. We are building the whole structure, and we are also learning from that. A lot of new topics that we haven't confronted with, like some of the policies, like assets management, and also on the EU specific topic like DORA, we just mentioned. That's something we never haven't been confronted with before. And also for the tax solution, I think we learned from that, and it's also a big challenge for Georg's team. I think.
Yeah, I think what was quite interesting, and to the viewers that are not from Austria or Vienna, you may not know that Austria has been not a hotspot for fintech or startups in general, but this has changed now completely with crypto, and there's a lot of international exchanges like Bybit who already have their license or are applying for their license. And we were, I think, as I said, the first international to spearhead this trend. But it was very, very difficult because when you have the commitment of a global company to build up a headquarters in a record time, you still face a lot of local issues in the beginning, like finding an office, finding the right people. So the first 6 months were definitely hard, but on the other hand, now we're very proud because we have a full floor here in Austria's biggest skyscraper. As I mentioned, 50 people, probably growing to around 100 by the end of the year. I'm very, very happy of what we achieved in a short time.
Yeah. Very, very, very strong words. And finally, let's say, what should user take away from Bybit's EU first year in Europe? Because basically, unlike other competitors, we built something from the ground up in basically less than a year, right? I think that's another achievement that testifies how strong you guys are as leader of the European team. What should user take away?
From my side, I think we brought a lot of new product, especially attractive product that some users never tried before. The one product, like we said, card, actually, that's one of the users' favorite product. It's easier for them to, spend their crypto assets. On another side, they can also get their interest. And also, in the end of this month, we plan to release another feature, flexible earn. That means you can, when you're not using it, you can hold your assets here, but when you spend it, you can easily swap out. So some of the new features we introduced to EU product, and also it's a good benefit for the clients. On the other side, for some special listing program, that's what Bybit always have advantage on with. I think people are very excited to be introduced with new assets, right? It's not just about holding crypto. It's about new opportunities, get investment, also get more choices for crypto.
Perfect. Let's maybe switch to what's next. Now that we've covered the full year, what we've achieved, I think, as we said, MiCAR is just the start. We have way more to push to users across Europe. What is the bigger vision behind Bybit EU on this next phase? Who can maybe start answering this question?
Let me give a big framework what we want to do. Like I said, digital platform, how we can achieve it. We want to build up the product easier for user to use, omni user journey. When you hold your salary here on Bybit, you can easily make investment, you can get high yield, you can spend out in a good way. And that's why we apply for different license. Here from the screen, you can see we have an EMI license, we have MiFi license. That's some of the license we are preparing for more comprehensive product lines. Why we have an EMI license, what we can make for that? First of all, when we get EMI license, we can easily transfer EMT out, a stable coin, and we can also make the stable coin payment. So that can make your life so much easier, not just on card. We will have a stablecoin payment on our Bybit Pay. That's already become one of a trend in the Eastern European countries. And on another side, we will have our card program. We have further plan, but I want to hold it as a some surprise in the future. But we will provide more scenarios for the card issuing, right? And we will also provide the private bank account for the clients. That means it's easier for users to, deposit or withdraw with their local IBAN. Also, you can on-ramp, off-ramp with the local payment methods. That's so much easier for your life. For the MiFID license, we can get our investment product with the derivatives product, which is most attractive product for the clients. That's why we are preparing at the same time.
And I think to add to this, like how you can imagine it going forward is that everything financial can be done through your Bybit app. I mean, crypto, it's already possible, but we will be able to offer IBANs, for example, so you can receive your salary, make your normal payments, be able to invest into investment products, not just crypto-based, but also traditional financial assets, and everything in one unified app, with also a lot of ways to interact. And this is also what I like. As I said, I'm coming from 2012 crypto, right? So there was literally just Bitcoin at that time. It was or just around when there was Bitcoin cash fork, but there weren't really any exchanges, anything else. And I still think that this is very good, and it's also very good that we can still have this in the EU. But there's also some great advantages of a centralized exchange like Bybit, for example, the Bybit Card, right? You can keep your assets in crypto, you can keep them invested and keep earning. But when you need it, meaning, let's say you want to buy a drink at 2 a.m. at the bar, you don't need to make any conversions, transfers from one account to another. It just works seamlessly in the background, automatic, quick, and safe and secure. And there will be a lot of these features coming to our platform that connect traditional parts of the financial industry with crypto and the other way around, in a way that offers a lot of choices to the user at a very convenient, easy way. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Indeed, we've I think mentioned EMI. Maybe these three letters doesn't mean a lot to everyone. What is EMI and what is important?
It stands for e-money institute, which is a form of payment service provider, and it will essentially enable us to offer all the payment services, or you can even compare it to a bank, except for the fact that we won't be having loans or deposits. But as I mentioned, everything related to payment accounts, relating to credit card issuing, and other topics. So everything that's fiat and not crypto based will be enabled by our EMI license.
Actually, it's just empowered our fiat payment capability, and also make the users easier to combine with a traditional payment with crypto. That's some of the good advantage for us. Yeah.
So what I get finally from all of those vision and how we are leveraging local licenses to execute on it is what I feel as a European customer is that Bybit is really trying to fit into the needs of our European user. What we see is that via the license that we are currently having, really feel that the full scope is how are we able to adapt what was very working well on global to Bybit customers in Europe. And we are not seeing that much, I would say, from some of our competitors. So basically, what you guys describe is some kind of place where a user can do whatever finance related action that they can over time, right? That's basically the vision. And so how maybe MiFID now, which is another license, fit into this roadmap, and how can it help the users?
MiFID license is the best choice for, like, say, for investment clients, and it's not just for professional clients. What we want to serve is the regular clients, also for the professional clients. The difference is we set like MiFID Academy mechanism, make sure that for some of the new beginners, you are protected, and you need to pass a test and check what kind of investor you belongs to. If you are professional investors, actually you can get more choices on MiFID products. That's some of the let's say product feature we are really looking forward to it. And actually previously for Bybit Global, it's very a MiFID product, not, let's say derivative product is a very stable and very reliable product on Bybit Global. That's why we are very looking forward to introduce the product mechanism, and we customize the product for you.
Perfect. I think also what is good and what I like specifically myself about MiFID is also our ability to offer TradFi product as well. When we talk about TradFi, we talk about stocks, we talk about commodities. These are the things that also users tend to love more and more, and we will be happy in the future to work to offer this to our users. Some product that is already available and that has been supporting the growth of Bybit quite well is the Bybit Card. How is it becoming a core product for us?
I think the first key point is it's easy to use, and actually it's a combination from traditional platform, traditional product with crypto assets. If you introduce crypto to some of the new clients, maybe they don't understand how can I get it, how can I use it, right? Seems like it's really far away from your life. But when you have a card, you just need to explain. You open a bank account, you open an account by our platform, and you get your card. You top up your assets here, whatever it's crypto assets or fiat assets, easier to spend and get reward. And we have a good cashback rate. It's easy to explain, right? Then they say, yeah, actually, it's a good balance for investment, also for my daily life. Compared with, keeping your assets in the bank, actually crypto or you can get high yield, and when you spend, you will get cashback, even higher cashback compared with traditional product. That's why it's easy to sell. Especially we have some of the special program, let's say rebate program, cashback, also. Our reward market provide more choices for the clients. Let's say you can even choose the cashback in Bitcoin, right? I know recently Bitcoin price decreased, but compare with recurring buy or recurring investment, it's a good choice for the regular clients to have your first Bitcoin.
Yeah, at least now that the BTC is a bit down, it means that we can get more of BTC, which
That's
is
a investment.
a good thing. All right. I think the live the live questions are soon coming to an end. I think for user that wants to move now, what campaign support is available? Is it?
Do you want to take this, Mazurka? I think we already mentioned it, or
Yeah, currently we actually provide 3 layers of reward for the clients. First of all, when you deposit 100, you can get in different country, you can get a reward. Let's say to top up 100, you get 20. Some of countries are 30, and also you have a 3% of cashback when you deposit with certain amount. And the VIP definitely will provide a better offer for you, and you will also get reward as a referral. So I do recommend you currently share the Bybit QR code to your friends and also get a referral code, a referral reward for that.
Exactly right. Before we come to the live Q&A, we also are working on a brand new campaign that we're gonna be able to launch soon. Higher APR offer on Bybit Earn, higher deposit cashback. More are coming, and we are really looking forward to make it available to you all. Thank you very much, Mazurka and Georg. I think now is the time to answer some questions from our audience. Let's get into this doc and let's check some of the questions. First question, how can I verify that a crypto platform is actually operating under MiCAR rules?
So there is an official register, first of all, of each national authority. So, for example, our license is with the Austrian FMA on their homepage, available for free. So it's also important to emphasize it's look on the regulator's homepage because it can't be tampered with. And there's also a centralized register of all European crypto asset service provider at the so-called ESMA. So if you look ESMA MiCAR register, you can download all providers, and also their websites are listed there. So it's easy to verify whether your provider is MiCAR licensed or not.
What should user be aware when choosing between regulated and non-regulated crypto platform? I think we covered this a little bit, but maybe to refresh.
Yeah, I think no oversight over an unregulated, as it is in the name, and all the important parts, for example, how your assets are safeguarded, how the company is run, who is managing the company, who is owning the company. That's completely up for your trust or luck, if you will, if you go with an unregulated company.
Yeah, I would say that what you say is basically at least regulated entities got screened quite heavily before granted access, right? Some users sometimes may be worried that increasing regulation means less privacy. How would you respond to that concern?
So I think what is generally clear, unfortunately, if you take it from this side, right, that whenever you interact with fiat money in Europe, there will be some form of identification, etc., provided, right? And also, what is clear and has always been the case that even if you have your assets offside the platform, you could still see on the platform transactions. But what I think what is good in terms of privacy and something that cannot be easily done in the traditional financial system is that we are very open with or provide all the options to the user to withdraw their assets and or bring them back to the platform. So it's still very much up to the user to decide, okay, maybe I want to exchange my BTC into Ethereum and then withdraw it to my hardware wallet that I don't keep on any platform.
And also here, I want to add one concept. Monitoring the data is not means we are leaking your privacy. Actually, for the compliance requirement, it's mainly for the AML purpose, especially investigate whether you have any like unregulated source of funds, and also if this belongs to the sanctions, right? Sanctions criteria. So it's all belongs to this kind of criteria. And in the reversal side, actually in EU, all the laws and also for the compliance framework, we have a very restricted policy to managing the user's privacy. Also for the different kind of data, we have a very detailed clause to make sure that we will keep the user's information in a safe way. Yeah, also need to follow some of the DORA requirements on that.
All right. Makes sense. Or let me. All right. New question. What makes Bybit EU different from other MiCAR regulated crypto platform in EU?
I think the big difference is on the product, right? Different exchange, they have a product, key products and key benefits we can provide to the clients. But for Bybit EU, like I said, the Omni One platform, you can easily get your money here for investment and you can easily spend. So that's the good choice we want to provide for the EU clients. And also not just about regular clients, also the professional clients. We provide more choices for them.
You're talking about maybe professional clients. Do you expect, it's one of the questions, so I'm trying to link them. Do you expect MiCAR to encourage more traditional financial institution to enter the crypto space?
Yeah, definitely. Because first of all, we provide the best liquidity and we provide more choices for assets. It's easier to get more opportunity for investment. And the third one, stable technical capability on API. And when we have a MiFi product, we can attract more investors, especially they want to hold the assets and get better choices on the platform. I think we will be the good choice for them.
All right. Sorry, Georg, you wanted to add something, or I heard an echo? No.
No, but maybe just one sentence. We see it already that being regulated, as I mentioned before, very often at the same standard as banks and other regulated entity, makes it much easier to work together because they cannot trust an unregulated company. So having this seal of being MiCAR regulated helps a lot with engaging with the sector.
Last question. What advice would you give to European crypto user navigating this new regulatory environment?
I think it's actually relatively easy. We covered it before. Check whether your current provider is MiCAR regulated. If it isn't, you don't need to panic. I think that's also one of the thoughts that was spread. As a user, even if you're tomorrow at an unregulated exchange, you're not committing any crime. But as we mentioned before, I would strongly recommend pick a MiCAR regulated exchange, preferably Bybit EU, of course, because products aside, fees aside, you at least know that the very basics of security and user protection are the same across all regulated companies.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Georg, Mazurka, for your time. I know that it's quite a busy schedule for you all, so thank you for making the time for us today. We are done. We don't have any more questions that I can see on my document. One last word to remind you that if you are looking for a change. Bybit EU is available, has been available for a year now. We currently have some great campaigns that we just launched. For traders, VIP, people with like high deposits, we offer between 3 and 10% of cashback on crypto deposits. We also provide VIP upgrades with lower thresholds so that you can get a feel of the platform and feel home faster. For longer term investors, we also have exclusive card benefits. You get your first card, you get 10% cashback for 30 days, 100% cashback on subscription. If you want to join and don't have yet an account, you deposit €100 worth of crypto and you get rewarded between 20 and up to, I would say, €70, depending on your campaigns and your region. So please be aware and check your region to see how much you can get. In addition to that, as we mentioned already, you also have the referral campaign, meaning that you can combine it with referring this to the user, which maybe would help you maybe afford a new AC unit. We know that in Europe right now, weather is quite hot, and if you can use these funds maybe to pay you a new AC unit, it's always good to use. Again, thank you very much, Georg, Mazurka. Looking forward to have you with us soon. We are looking forward to welcome you on Bybit EU and to share with you what's next.
Thank you. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.